Jay from Board Game Gumbo here. I've got my guest Mike Hinson from Elf Creek Games, and you guys are in the middle of a Kickstarter. I do want to thank you for coming on the show right near here at the end. You've got a game that's coming out that just looks fantastic. I actually got the Kickstarter page up.
Okay.
Atlantis Rising. What was the impetus behind finding this almost undiscovered gem that not a lot of people knew about, but there was some people in the board game media who really were champions for this game.
And one of those champions is how we heard about the game, and that's Z Garcia with the Dice Tower. He absolutely loves this game. This game is still rated in his top 100 of all time. And Brent one day was just looking around, watching some videos from the Dice Tower, trying to find a co-op game that was not Pandemic or not like Pandemic, like a different co-op game. He came across Ghost Stories from Antoine Bauza, and he also came across Atlantis Rising. And we were trying to get a copy of the game. We ended up getting a copy August of last year, or no, July of last year. Played it a couple times. Brent had contacted Galen, the designer of the game, to see if we could, get it signed so we can bring it back to life. And we had a stipulation in our contract that we had to fund successfully a Kickstarter before the end of 2017 in order to work on Atlantis Rising.
Really? Okay.
And because we were new, we were new to the industry. Atlantis Rising is Galen's only design, so I understand why he was like, hey, we gotta make sure that you guys are legit. And then when Into the Trail funded day one, we went full steam ahead with Atlantis Rising.
I was looking on his game page. I didn't see any other games, so this is only game design.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's his only game design, and we are happy to be bringing it back to life.
I saw another champion that you have, and I've got a picture that I threw up here. I think that's Brent, and if I got the right guy, it looks like Jamie Stegmaier there on the left with the bright orange shirt.
Yes, that is Jamie Stegmaier. And then
is this a Geekway?
This is a Geekway, day one of Geekway. So the two other men that you can see in that picture are Josh and Bryn from Doomsday Robots.
Okay.
And then next to Brent is one of our playtesters, Katie. She is also one of the leaders or collaborators for Kudo Plays up in Champaign. And then Derek Funkhauser is right behind her. You can barely see Derek.
Yeah, I can see him.
But yeah, Jamie's been very helpful in our road to publishing. And yeah, he really wanted to try it out. They played a 6-player game. I believe they lost that, and I got a picture sent to me because I couldn't make Geekway. Of them being very sad about that defeat. But yeah, that was one of the first games that Brent had brought to Geekway.
So
one of the first games for that, yeah.
Atlantis Rising, cooperative game. How long does it take?
I would say 60 minutes to 120 minutes, depending on player count.
And it plays up to how many people?
Plays, because of this Kickstarter, it plays 1 to 7.
Hey, my buddy Jason from the North Shore. There's a big Lake Pontchartrain over here in Louisiana, north of New Orleans, and Jason's up on the North Shore. And he says, if you have the original Atlantis Rising, should you get the new one? Well, Jason, I'm going to say yes. But I've got a reason, not just because Mike's on the show. Vincent Dutrait, as we say, is one of my favorite board game artists in the world. And somehow, I want to hear this story. Somehow, Mike Hinson's got Vincent Dutrait on this artwork. And Mike, this artwork rocks. I'm telling you, Vincent.
He knocked it out of the park on this. I would love to take credit for this, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
Brent cares a ton about art, and he was the one who contacted Vincent. And we got a quote, and we're like, wow, this is this is definitely worth it for this game. And he's been a blast to work with. We also partnered with Peter Gifford for the graphic design. He was the graphic designer behind Tales of Arabian Nights.
Ah, okay.
So it's, from a creative side, that has been a blast. And from a playtesting side, which is kind of where I was at, it's been a blast too. So
Jason says, hey, I've got the old one in my closet. It's never played. Jason, if it's still in shrink wrap, sell it for twice what you paid and use the money to back Atlantis Rising.
Right.
Because you want this artwork. No, and it sounds like I'm Josh, and of course I'm being funny, but I gotta show this artwork.
Oh yeah.
This is just some gorgeous artwork. But what I am curious about is the gameplay, though. The artwork can be beautiful. I've got a couple of games on my shelf here where the artwork is beautiful, but I never play the game because gameplay was just lacking. What, who is the target market for this? Who's the target audience for this Atlantis Rising? Who is going to enjoy this game?
I feel that there are multiple audiences for the game. One is the gamer that loves co-op games. One of the things that we want to do as Elf Creek Games is we want to bring a co-op game to, different co-op games to people. And there is a huge group of people that love playing co-op games. I also think for the serious gamer, there are a lot of crunchy decisions in this game. Yes, there is dice rolling, which might scare people, but it shouldn't, because there are multiple ways to mitigate the dice rolling. And then for, I would say, gateway gamers, this is a great game to kind of introduce to new players, especially those. There's 5 difficulty levels. We recommend for newer players, start on easy, work your way up. So it's very streamlined, and it's simple enough to where you should be able to learn it without an issue and enjoy it from the get-go.
All right, so what are we talking about on the hard level? You mentioned ghost stories. Are we talking ghost stories, or Aeon's End level of it's going to be tough to beat, or where do you put it in that pantheon?
I would say pandemic level.
Okay.
So normal on pandemic is right where our normal is.
Okay.
Our designer Galen is a huge fan of ghost stories, but it's not to that level. I'd say solid pandemic.
So Steve O'Rourke, the Name Father, says, hey, the asterisk-shaped board is intriguing. Curious to hear how that interacts with the game's mechanics. From what I can tell from the videos, what that is that's the peninsulas or the stretches of land that stretch out, and there's a tile mechanic that slowly has the land receding. Is that what's going on?
That is what's going on. So it's like it is called the misfortune phase. So every round you're going to be placing your workers, and then the next step is the misfortune phase. So you're going to be turning over cards from a deck, and that will tell you what areas of the island sink. And what you do is, at that point, let's say I turn over a libraries card. Then I'm going to take the outermost library tile and flip it to show the flooded side. So that's why we have the asterisk size board. And we didn't know if we wanted to keep that, and then we started taking it to design conventions and other conventions, and the amount of looks that we got, there was no way we were changing the board style. No way.
So y'all have actually tried changing it?
We thought about it, and then we're like, no, we can't do it. Because it was so eye-catching that it would have taken a lot from the table presence to change it. And we recognized early on that wasn't going to happen.
My buddy Jeff from Auburn checking in. Misfortune phase sounds like my life. Jeff, you're going to appreciate this. We got the whole SEC here.
You're not kidding.
Mike's the Tennessee fan. Jeff's the Aub fan. And, of course, my poor Tigers after that. I don't want to talk about that game this weekend.
Well, hey, at least right now we don't have a Bama fan on here, so that's good.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think we can the three of us can agree on that.
We definitely can do that. Atlantis Rising started the opposite of what happened with the Tigers at the end of that game. So
Yeah.
the Atlantis Rising, it's out on Kickstarter right now. Mike, how much longer is the game going to be out on Kickstarter?
The Kickstarter ends Friday evening at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, I guess. So,
and when's delivery expected?
We are expecting by August of 2019.
Based on the pictures I'm seeing, you guys have already got a lot of the assets done, it looks like.
Yeah, we do have a lot of the art assets done. So we're hoping to get pre-press going pretty quickly, and then get the ball rolling, and get the games to backers so we can get the games out at conventions. And
that is Atlantis Rising, out on Kickstarter right now from Elf Creek Games. Their second game after the successful Kickstarter from with End of the Trail. It's got a designer that guys like Z and Jamie Stegmeyer have talked really highly about the way this design came out, and you've added on some incredible artwork from Vincent Dutrait. So people haven't heard of Atlantis Rising. Make sure you check that out.
Definitely.